where we shift in that space, where we're from so much of directing and telling the law what to do, to asking, empowering questions to our higher self in terms of what's next. What is this that's attempting to unfold itself through me? What is it that I'm trying to teach myself right now? What's trying to happen through me right now? He said, and then we move from stage 3 of allowing to stage 4, where we realize that not only does it already exist, it exists as us. Isn't that what we're talking about in the first 4 chapters of the textbook? Isn't that what we're realizing, that I am that? That there is no separation between me and anything in my life? See? So it's a wake-up call. It's waking us up from that belief that life is doing us. It's waking us up to the realization that we're doing life. It's waking us up to that realization that our good isn't yet to be. It's not coming. It's waking us up to the realization that our good has to already be here. And then it's waking us up to the realization that, oh my goodness, not only is it already here, I am that. Now that's the healing. That's the healing. So that's where we are this morning. That's where we are. We're in that space of realizing our oneness with this presence, identifying with its nature. But you know, Ernest Holmes said something once that's very true, but I almost wish he'd never said it. Yeah, he said, this philosophy is simple, but it's not easy. And what he said is absolutely true. It is simple. It is absolutely simple, and it's not easy. But the reason I wish he'd never said it is because I find that so many people use that as an excuse to quit. So many people use that as an excuse to just say, you know what, it's just too hard. It's just too hard. This is hard. It's too hard for me to be sitting in the midst of lack and limitation and to know that prosperity exists. It's too hard for me to be hurting and to believe that health is the truth of me and that it's omnipresent and it's right here, right now. But you know what? I'm going to tell you something. As difficult as it is to see the truth when we're entangled in a painful situation, it's not nearly as difficult as some of the things that we're doing to ourselves right now. It's not nearly as painful as some of the things that we're using in our own lives that are far more difficult than shifting our attention to the truth. Can you imagine? Just think about this for a minute. Can you imagine how difficult it is to see yourself as completely alone in a universe of oneness? Can you imagine how difficult, absolutely difficult it is to be immersed in a unity and to see yourself as completely separate from everybody else? That's not easy. That is really not easy. I mean, we'd have to have our shields up. We'd have to have the lids on. We'd have to have the shades drawn. We'd have to be like Diana Ross, stop, where we're not letting anything in. No, you can't come in. And the interesting thing is as soon as you take your hand down, there's somebody in your face saying, what can I do to help? I became so clear years ago that we're all connected. I had an experience where I was sleeping. Well, I wasn't sleeping. I had just gone to bed. My kids were sleeping, and my husband was up front watching TV, and I had just gone to bed. I wasn't sleepy, and so I decided I was going to meditate. I had just started in metaphysics, so I kind of get new thought and new age stuff kind of mixed up because I didn't know what any of it was. I was just experimenting. So as I'm laying there meditating, I'm thinking to myself, I always hear people say, "Don't go near the light." You ever hear that? Don't go near the light. So I'm saying, okay, well, let's see what that means. Let's go near the light and see what happens, okay? So I'm just laying there and meditating on the light, meditating on seeing the light and approaching the light. And all of a sudden, my bedroom door burst open. And it's my daughter, who was about 15 years old at that time. And it was completely dark in the room. And she said to me, she screamed at me. She said, "You stop that right now, and don't you ever do that again." And she stood there for a couple of seconds, and then she turned around and she walked out of the door. And the next morning, when I asked her about it, she didn't recall any of it. She was sound asleep when it happened. We are connected. We are one. And every single one of you has experiences where you have proved that to yourself over and over and over again. So to be moving through life as somebody who's completely alone, you have to be putting up some serious resistance. Some serious shields have to go on. Can you imagine how difficult it is to be walking around angry all day long in a universe of love? What kind of energy are we putting? I mean, we have to be overriding the system, completely overriding. A universe of love, the universe, the impulse of the entire universe is love. And we spend our whole day in anger. I was talking to this guy the other day, and I had never met him before, and so he said, "So what do you do?" So I rarely tell people that I'm a minister, because as soon as I say minister, they get all holy on me, you know, and they start, I don't know what that is. So I said, "Well, I'm a teacher." He said, "Well, what do you teach?" I said, "Spiritual philosophy. It's called Science of Mind." And so he says, Oh, that's about decision, right? Power decision. And I said, yeah, okay, that's it, you got it. So as he was walking away, he said, "Have a great day, unless you have other plans." See? And that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about overriding the system, because many of us have other plans when it comes to love. Many of us have other plans when it comes to joy. Many of us have other plans when it comes to prosperity. But we have to recognize that our decision is a demand. It's the demand that we're making on the universe. So demand and supply are one. Dr. Beckwith said, I want to close with his words. He said, "Behind every problem, there's a question trying to ask itself." It's already in it. He said, "Behind every question, there's an answer trying to reveal itself." It's already in it. Behind every action, behind every answer, there's an action trying to be taken. It's already included in the package. And behind every action, there's a way of life trying to be born. It's on demand. It's all here. It's all given. It's all ours. It's all now. So this morning we started with a beautiful song by Johnny. Times they are changing. And here we are in January. January is a sacred month to me. I love it because it's, you know what, every day all things are made new, but January is where, you really remember that. You really remember that this is a time of change. And I want to invite all of you, every single one of you, to be willing, since this is a new year, be willing to close the old book that you were a part of. Be willing to close that book of your life, and be willing to open a new book, a new chapter about who you are. Be willing to let it be new. This guy said to me years ago, I was on a cruise around the world, and he said, Americans are really poor travelers. And I said, why do you say that? He said, because, you go to other places and you get all upset because it doesn't look like America. Well, that's what we do with change. See, we declare a change and then we get all upset because it looks different. It's supposed to be different. It's supposed to be different. It's brand new. So make it new. Let the times change, as Johnny was telling us. Let's be open to it. Let's invite it into our life as something new. Chapter 1. I am new in the now. And the rest is still unwritten. Let it be your way. Thank you for being here this morning. So it is.